It is the Ticat CFL Draft Show, powered by TELUS. My name is Louie B, digital host for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are into round 6. It is the final round of the CFL Draft, and we got a lot of guests who are going to be stopping by in the next half hour. So I don't want to waste any time. I want to bring in our guest here. Darrin Bauming covers the Winnipeg Blue Bombers out in Winnipeg. Darrin, before I get to you, I just want to run a couple of picks here. I think we left off at Kyle Borsa from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They took Kyle Borsa out of Regina. Alfred Green was selected by the BC Lions, 40th. Peter Cordes, 41st. Keegan Marcraft, 42nd. Chuba Hubbard, 43rd. There was a lot of talk on where Chuba Hubbard would go. He went 43rd to Oklahoma, or out of Oklahoma State, the Calgary Stampeders. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that 44th overall pick because I will sound silly. But Darrin Bauming is right there on the camera. I don't want to waste any time. Darrin, give us a grade. I know there's one round left to go, but how do you think the Bombers have been looking tonight?
Well, first I'll say Chuba Hubbard. Of course, the Calgary Stampeders took a flyer on Chuba Hubbard. That, John Hufnagel, that screams, hey, if things don't work out in the NFL and with the Carolina Panthers for Hubbard, why not take a shot on him, as a value pick at this point? Louis, as far as the Blue Bombers are concerned, Kyle Walters has shown to be so shrewd and so deft at making really smart picks since he took over this franchise from a player personnel perspective a number of years ago. The previous regime, Joe Mack, he had some NFL chops, time with the Atlanta Falcons. It's almost a dirty word to say Joe Mack in Winnipeg now. The team, as far as Canadian talent at that time when Kyle Walters took over, was absolutely ravaged. He started with 3 things in mind when it came to the Canadian draft: offensive line, special teams, and then kicker. Now, kicker, of course, you're probably not going to address too directly in the draft, but as your Hamilton Tiger Cats fan viewers know very well, you want a good kicker, you go out and get the best. And Justin Medlock scoring all those points in the Grey Cup obviously was a huge reason why that game went the way it did. As far as today, offensive line, a futures pick in Liam Dobson out of the University of Maine. He'll transfer for his final season at Texas State. He's going to take a swing at the NFL. Road grader is the way Ted Gavaya, assistant general manager of the Blue Bombers, described Liam Hobson. 6'3", 344 pounds. And he's got a video on his Instagram of weighing in at 344 and then dunking a basketball quite impressively. This is the type of guy the Blue Bombers like to put on their offensive line. They like to push defensive lines around. They want guys that love to play the game. That's maybe as important as anything when it comes to who they select. Whether Dobson gets an NFL taste in a year or he ends up in the CFL, he's definitely somebody that wants to play football, and I think that's really important to how the Blue Bombers assess their talent.
Now, the Blue Bombers are the defending Grey Cup champions. We know that. But a lot of people have the Ticats as the favorite. Vegas has the Ticats as the favorite. Do you think that's rubbing people the wrong way in Winnipeg? Or do you get the sense that they kind of like the fact that they're the defending champs who are flying under the radar heading into 2021?
Well, when you go 29 years without a Grey Cup championship in a CFL franchise city, well, I know it's been 20 in Hamilton. I know that. But when you go 29 years, people feel pretty good that it was a 2-year defending championship with only having to win the big game once. That said, fans are going to fan. Of course, they're going to feel disrespected. Hey, we're the defending champs. How does Vegas or the odds makers not make us the favorites again? I get that. But I also look at the Hamilton Tiger Cats roster. I look at them being favorited in that game 2 Novembers ago in Calgary, the surprise win. I would say that's fair to say that the Blue Bombers pulled off in that game. Andrew Harris just clearly having a huge chip on his shoulder for the way things went in a variety of ways in his 2019 season. I look at the Ticats. You got 2 good quarterbacks. You got a stout defense. You got talent oozing from the offensive pores, stability in the coaching staff, stability in the player personnel department, a great young head coach in Orlando Steinauer. I don't think he's going to make the same mistakes twice that maybe he made. Every coach is going to second guess themselves when they don't come home with the jewelry at the end of the year. I don't think he made too many mistakes, but he's too smart to make those few mistakes he did again. I personally, hey, I'm here in Winnipeg. I'm friends and family with so many Blue Bomber fans that bleed blue and gold. But you got to respect the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The black and gold are legit. And I think it's going to be very similar. If we get a Grey Cup this year in Hamilton, that home field advantage just might come in handy.
Well, I am looking forward to seeing you at some point this season. If I have to wait until the Grey Cup in December, I'm glad we had this chat here today. So, Darrin, thank you so much for doing this. It's great to see you.
Hey, great to see you too, Louie. Have a great night, man.
Yeah, you too. There he is. Darrin Bauming covers the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And don't go anywhere. It is the Ticats CFL Draft Show powered by TELUS.